What's up? What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to your weekly intuitive energy report. I am here to discuss the energies going on for the week of May 26th to June 1st. Man, can you believe we're already in June? This is crazy. Crazy time. So thank you very much for joining me in this incredibly exciting time. Man, I'm sure you guys have been feeling this energy that's going on. We are in pre-eclipse energy. Not that all the shit that's going on is already enough. There is so much that's on the table right now for transformation and for that clear 2020 direct facilitation and clarity of understanding with the soul at the very core of what we got going on. So I've been getting so many downloads. It's been surreal. Okay. I myself have been experiencing a lot of my own ascension symptoms and my own awakening aspects. What's up, Jessica? But I'm gonna save all the specifics for my opportunity community. If you guys would like to go check that out, please go to spiritualbodybuilder.com and join the opportunity community. If you resonate with my content, I think you guys will really appreciate what we do and what we talk about in there. But it's safe to say that there is a lot of stuff coming up, and when stuff comes up, it can be emotional or it can be physical, right? Things can happen. It can be anything from an earache to like a toenail falling off. I mean, it's completely like unique and random, but everything in the body, everything in our energetic space represents some kind of emotional aspect that we need to face and work through. And, with all this energy going on already, it's like, it's digging in there, it's digging down, it's looking very, very deeply at what we really want in this life. Okay. This year is sort of like the last stand, if you will, in our consciousness that's bringing us into who we are and what we are really made of and what we really want, identifying our truest, deepest desires for coming into this new world that we want to create. So I need you guys to ask yourself something, right? When things come up, when things are going on, these are all different aspects of our deepest consciousness that is desiring to evolve. It's knocking on the door of our ego, say, hey, let me in. I want to take over. And the ego can be very beneficial at times, of course, in the 3D world. We need our ego. Our ego is how we individuate ourselves and how we get shit done. But what should be driving that vehicle of getting shit done is our soul, is our spirit, right? And sometimes we can suppress that in order to, just like, I'll get to it later. I just need to get this done. I just need to get this done. I just need to make this happen. And, you make a habit of that. And, then that establishes in the central nervous system. And that's just no good for anybody. And right now we're seeing it all over the place. I've had so many people that are looking into, asking about psychedelics and plant medicine and different therapies, alternative means of like healing and, what can be done. And with all the questions and all the uncertainty going on in the world, this is, really, it's blatantly obvious right now to see who trusts themselves and who doesn't, right? The people that do not trust themselves are the ones that are taking all these extremely neurotic precautions because they, like when you trust yourself, you know what the deal is, you know what's going on, right? So, and look, my personal opinion is my personal opinion. I don't want to, all these things going on in the world. The point of what we're talking about here is to really empower the true nature of the authentic self and to come into that spiritual alignment. So what I'm really interested in talking about here is this energy that's going on right now, because come next month, it's like full throttle, okay? And we need to, so this is sort of like the pre-cleanse before the real cleanse, right? Yeah, Mystery Medium, thank you very much. I'm happy that you're here. Good to see you. So we all have something that we want to create, a life that we want to look a certain way, to experience a certain way, right? And everybody has that. And in order to get to that place, right, then this isn't about like destination preoccupation. This is about living from that place emotionally, internally, so that we can create it in our external world. Because we know that the internal healing has to be done in order for the external to be a projection of our internal world, right? So we have all this deeper stuff, excuse me, this much deeper level of consciousness that's being excavated, if you will, right? And it's bringing this vision into like, we're feeling this like, fuck, man, we got to do this, we got to get it done, we got to make it happen, right? It's like we're revving the car, but it's not quite moving yet. And that is when the eclipses will come into play. All right. But right now we still have some shit that we have to let go of. And as we're letting go of this stuff, it's about taking our authenticity and allowing the stuff to come up and out. But here's the thing, when it comes up and out, it feels like we're going backwards, right? Like we may be going good, and then suddenly we need to sleep for 16 hours a day, or we injure ourselves physically. Like, I injured my left foot from physical exercise. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, physical exercise is generally my way that I process my stress, that I keep my circulation flow. It's a healthy thing to do, right? Well, there was something deep down in there that was saying, no, you got to chill a little bit. You need to stop, because sometimes when there's a lot of spiritual work to be done, you have to put all your focus on that spiritual work. And even when the desired outcome is balance, sometimes, like if when you focus on a certain part, either emotional, physical, or spiritual too much, it pulls you into that other part that you don't necessarily think you need or really want to throw yourself out of balance for, in order to create that deeper level of balance, right? So, I prefer to, I like to set out a time in my day. Even now that I can't go to the gym, I still, I'll stretch for 20, 30 minutes. I'll meditate. I'll do my push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and I was trying to run. Well, apparently in my 41-year-old body, running wasn't very favorable for my ankles, my shins, or my fascia, and I strained something in my foot. I think that maybe it's plantar fasciitis. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it definitely hurts. So I've had to shift my focus, and this is what these things do, right? It shifts our focus onto what we need to address that may be a little bit out of alignment. Okay, so as we do that, it's going to bring us deeper into this place where it's like saying that we need to go full force, full-fledged into this, because this is where the eye of the needle is. This is where this lesson, this thing that's trying to come through, is trying to teach us something. Okay, and so when we go into that place, all right, it's going to bring us to some very unexpected experiences, feelings, epiphanies. It might bring you to 2 or 3 different types of rabbit holes that you didn't even expect to go down. And this is where we have to embrace the unknown, because this unknown is the part of our consciousness that has not been established in our consciousness as of yet. Okay. Leslie, that's about swimming. Look, it could be anything. All right. Right. Like right now, it's more about the energetics. Like swimming is supposed to be very healthy for you, right? But if there's something about your body movement that is out of alignment, it's going to trigger that vulnerability, and then it's going to try to teach you that lesson, right? So hopefully the gyms will be open up pretty soon, and we'll be able to get back to it. But for me personally, I went ahead and I got my particular therapies done, and now it's coming along. But it also brought me to realize that I pushed myself a little bit too hard, a little out of balance. So you got to take a step back, and the Saturn retrograde structure, taking a step back and looking at the structure of your life and where it is out of balance that we don't want to look at on a regular basis, and going into it with that discomfort, like almost like a little kid, like, oh, mom, okay, and you got to listen to mom, and mom being like the divine feminine, Pachamama, because with Venus retrograde, we're getting a lesson in our divine feminine. Okay, and later on in the year, when Mars goes retrograde in its home sign of Aries, it's gonna be in Aries for 6 months, baby. That's gonna be intense. I know I'm an Aries rising, so that's gonna be big for me and all you Aries out there, man. Wow, we're gonna get a massive learn lesson in our divine masculine, how we go out there into the world, how we penetrate the world. Okay. So just, be ready for that, because shit's going to get real in the second half of this year. But shit is still real right now. It's just, it's the universe is taking us on this like wild goose chase right now. And that's why so many people are seeking, and in the midst of all this uncertainty, it's making a lot of people just really like, I don't know what to do, right? Like, what the fuck? And the point is, you're not supposed to know what to do. The point is that you're supposed to go into the unknown with trust and with faith in your heart. And if you don't have it, you'll get it. You'll create it. But when like right now, it's not really giving us a choice. We're in it. Okay, guys, we are in it, and we're going through it, whether you like it or not. So you can go kicking and screaming, or you can throw your hands up and surrender and be like, all right, let's do this, bitches. Let's make it happen. Okay. So today, we have the moon in Cancer. We have Mercury coming into conjunction with the North Node, and it's quincunx over to Jupiter. So, and I would throw Pluto in there too. All right. So this means that, like, we are taking a deep, hard look at the scaffolding, at the foundation of our destiny. We're getting a clear look. Okay, where are we going? Where do we want to go, and why? Okay. So as we're going into this place, it's like, all right, dude, like it's time to make this shit happen. Like the universe is just saying, like, all right, we're getting a clearer, deeper understanding and infusion of this energy of a desire to go into our destiny. But with Pluto and Jupiter there, in a quincunx, in this very uncomfortable sort of like tug of war kind of energy, it's elusive, right? We feel this knowing and this need that we need to go into this, deeper level or higher level of our mission or purpose in this life, but we're not really sure how to do it. It's like it's sort of like it's right there in the periph, but we can't quite see it yet, right? But that is where being okay with the unknown comes into play. If you try to figure it out, if you try to control it, the shit's gonna drive you banana sandwich crazy. Okay, we don't want to go banana sandwich. Need to have some peanut butter in there or something, right? Yes, it's going to get real the last half of the year. And this year has already been a really, real year, but it's going it's sort of like 2020 has been the rebirth of consciousness in a way, right? Like we've woken up, like what the fuck just happened? We woke up to a deeper truth, to this collective unconscious cracking open like a shell, right? And now we're coming into this like, okay, well, this is bullshit, and everything's getting called out, and wow, our entire reality is nothing like what we thought, because all this stuff has been going on underneath the surface. And now that we see this and we know it, that's also an illustration on the large scale of what's going on within us. So as this stuff comes up, it's creating this environment that's having us look deeper within ourselves and be like, holy fuck, what do we really want? What do we really want? Who are we really at a deeper level? What the hell's going on? How are we going to create this? What is it that we want to create? Okay. And this is where, of course, every year when there's a Venus retrograde and a Mars retrograde, this is looking back at our divine masculine, divine feminine aspects of ourselves. But being in 2020, and with everything else going on, this is a unique year, guys. And we also have 6 eclipses this year, which is rare too. There's usually only 4. Okay. So and now that we're shifting from Capricorn, Cancer to Sagittarius and Gemini, this is coming into like big picture, communicating the big picture, right? So first we have to see the big picture and understand it. And right now with the South Node on the galactic center, I mean, oh my God. That's like just, the energy is sitting right on top of the very center of our soul, the very center of our consciousness. And we're coming up next week, basically on June 5th is the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And it's still about 14 degrees away from the nodes, but it's close enough to where it's going to activate that energy. So we're coming into this new energy. And so all you Sagittarius out there, Get ready, because that's going to be really, really intense for you guys. Okay. Um, and yeah, so back to this week. Okay. Sorry, I get ahead of myself, get a little crazy on all this. So Venus retrograde, all right, is now sort of like coming away from Neptune. That Neptune Venus square is starting to dissipate a little bit, but it has implanted this deeper question, a deeper question ourselves about how we receive, right? About like, what is it that I'm missing about receiving? Am I trying to receive the wrong thing? Is my reason for receiving, like not optimal? All these different questions are coming up to the forefront. And now we have Venus coming into a square with Mars. And Mars doesn't like to be in Pisces. Mars like, fuck this place. And they're both mutable energies. So that means they're both very changeable. Okay. So things can go back and forth and you can change your mind every day, multiple times a day. We don't really know which way it's going to go until this aspect is pretty much over. Now, and Mars and Venus will pretty much be going into their new signs right around the same time at the end of June. Okay. So from now to the end of June, we're looking at this sort of like back and forth. I'd say don't make any fucking plans. Okay, folks? That was a Dennis Leary tribute right there. So I don't know if you guys even know who that is. I'm showing my age right there, but that's okay. Got to represent. So we also have Jupiter coming into 26 degrees of Capricorn here tomorrow. Now, whenever an outer planet comes, it changes a degree. That's significant, right? Because these planets move slower than the personal planets do. So, and then of course we have Mercury coming to 28 degrees tomorrow as well. So pretty much all this week, that Mercury conjunct North Node energy is going to be getting stronger and stronger, and it's going to be saying, look, what do you want? Like infusing this energy about what do you want, but you have to let go of the how. And with all this Gemini energy, Gemini wants to know how. How do I do it? How do I make this happen? It's that cerebral, like, I got to figure this out. I got to analyze it, right? But all the rest of this energy is saying that you ain't going to know how, fool, because it's going to keep changing on you. So trust. And this is going to keep pounding this shit into you until you let go of trying to figure it out and start listening to your heart. Start listening to the cues, the synchronicities that the universe is, sending your way, because it most definitely is happening. Okay. So on the 28th, we have Mercury just flipping right over. And it's moving so fast right now, almost 2 degrees a day. Okay. So it's going to be going into hitting 0 degrees of Cancer on the 28th. So that is where all of a sudden our communication is going to start to get more emotional. Yeah, I said it. And then it's going to quincunx Saturn. Okay. So Saturn is now at 1 degree. Almost, it's still basically stationed. It's going to start moving a little bit more quickly now, but it's still at 1 degree Aquarius. So now Mercury and Saturn are sort of butting heads. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Right? Like saying like, all right, we want to create this whole humanity thing. We want to bring this, we want to understand how we're all one. We all want to get along, get together, and make shit better. How do we do this? Right? How do we do this? Because we have this extreme separation going on in the world with all these different belief systems, because all these powers of the world are mind fucking everybody. So this is where, like, the people that are in tune with themselves, it's the vibration of that being in tune, in alignment. The people that are ready to awaken to it and ready to hear it and see it and feel it are going to get it. But we also have to let go of all this fighting. Too much fighting out there, guys. There's too much conflict. There's too much fuck you, you're right, no, I'm right. But this is being like established and promoted through the people that are running this freaking country. Or are they even really running it? The people that are in the public of this country, right? Democrats, Republicans, the political people, like, all these different countries. It's absolutely fucking just nauseating in my opinion. Because the entire purpose is for humanity to come together, right? To create, a good life. Should not be a struggle, guys. Life does not need to be a struggle. We believe it because we're conditioned to believe that. So we can just be fucking drones, but people are waking up. We are not drones. So as we wake up to this, the people that had the control are freaking the fuck out. They're like, holy shit, what do we do now with, like, you know, all these people that are thinking for themselves? Fuck, I don't know how to keep control. It is growing and growing and growing. So and those are the people that are staying true to their heart, staying true to themselves, right? And these energies are promoting that, which is fucking awesome, right? This is like the universe is God, and the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, is empowering people's spirits, people's souls. And we are the ones that have that ability just through our energy alone. Okay, the words are extra, but people can already feel the energy. So that way, when they hear the words, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense," right? So we need to step into that and like stand in our power, because if we don't go out there and show our energy, and if we just hide out with it and like, I just want to be alone, then that's a problem, because we're actually robbing humanity of the greatness of this truth that we hold within ourselves. Okay, and that cerebral energy right now is very powerful. So we have to be careful where we allow ourselves to be drawn into, because you know, it can be very counterproductive for the overall energy. Look, we are all connected, guys. Like, we are all connected at the unconscious level, the collective unconscious, right? And the reason why everyone in the world is being affected by this is because, you know, they set it up that way. So there's like a collective meditation of fear right now, but it is being destroyed, and you have to believe that. You have to see that. You have to tune in to the things and experiences and people and places that are exhibiting and exuding that energy, okay? The more we do that, the more powerful we are all going to be, in a loving and humble kind of way. Not I want to take over the world way, right? Because fuck that shit. Who would want to take over the world? I mean, well, clearly some people do, but that's just, it's a very dark, nasty fucking energy. So we need to bring that light and just fucking shine on it every way. So that's what I'm doing with you guys right now. And hopefully you guys take these vibes and go out there and show everybody else and be like, hey, I love you, man. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, we also, on the 28th, we have the moon that'll be transiting through Leo, and that's going to be quincunx over to Neptune and Mars. So this is like hitting that, that very spiritual, very like mutable kind of, like, emotionally we're going to be a little bit all over the place, but this is also where we get those like intuitive uploads or downloads, whatever you want to call it. We get that inner standing. I don't like understanding. I'll overstand and I'll innerstand, but I don't want to understand. And that's where we get all these energies of these inner standings, right? And no, you shine your light. Yeah, get it. And, you know, and Leo represents the heart. It's leadership. Okay. So as the moon's going through that, we're going to get a little, you know, like something might happen that's going to stimulate a desire and need to stand in our power. And what's interesting too, here on the 28th, again, we have Uranus conjunct Black Moon Lilith, and we have Chiron also all at 8 degrees. So this, I've been seeing this 888 everywhere myself personally. Okay. So 8, of course, represents infinity. 8 represents abundance. Now, when I say abundance is highly subjective to what we are thinking about. So if you have an abundance of negative thoughts, you're going to draw in an abundance more of those negative thoughts, and you're going to manifest negative shit. Right now, manifestation is so powerful. So we have to make sure that we're staying focused and in the trajectory of the North Node of where we want to go. So whatever creative project you have, right? Damn right, Crystal. Hell yeah. We have to focus our energy on going into that North Node. You know, write that book, you know, create that podcast, you know, like create that group, like, who knows? I don't know, like the group training session or something. Okay. This is where we get our passion. We get whatever it is that we're passionate about. It's coming along now, but we have to focus on it. We have to put our energy into it. We put the energy into it, and then we take that one step at a time, then figure out the next one. Like, I know for me, I I basically stopped myself from publishing a book for years because I was like, I don't know how the fuck to do that. I don't know how to do the publisher. I talked to a publisher that was saying it was going to cost me like 10 grand to get all the editing and publishing done and like all the marketing or whatever. I don't know how the fuck to do all that. I just know how to write down shit that I'm, but I don't even have great, grammatical syntax. So, but recently I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to figure it out one step at a time. And it's coming along. And I made one ebook and it was, it came out okay. But my second one, way better. And it'll be done in about a week. And, like the next one's going to be bigger and better. And just, you learn as you go, but you have to go into it. You have to make it happen. You have to create it. And it's that first couple steps in the creativity process that this Chiron energy comes up, that this Lilith energy comes up. Now, especially with Lilith conjunct Uranus in Taurus, okay? So Lilith in Taurus represents like you want to feel good, okay? You want your physical body to feel good, to look good. You want your five senses are all like, yeah, I want to be touched. I want to touch. I want to feel. I want to grope. I want to, it kind of brings in this like, anybody I know with Lilith and Taurus, they love touch, like they make great massage therapists. I'll tell you that, right? So with Lilith conjunct Uranus, this is bringing up some really unexpected experiences or desires or curiosities. This may be like suddenly you're just, and it's semi-sextile to Chiron, okay? So throat chakra closing up there a little bit. So this is where we need to learn through exploration. Now, of course, be, respectful and honest with yourself, but, go into it. Figure it out. See, just go within and be like, what do I want? And when the first thing that comes to your head and mind is, what you want, what do you think? What do you feel? Do you think that you can't have it? You're not good enough? Do all these insecurities and things come up? I challenge you this week, because this energy is actually going to retrograde. Lilith is going to retrograde onto Uranus again too. Whatever it is that you decide that you want, get uncomfortable, get in the unknown, and just go with it. And just, like if there's someone you want to talk to, if there's, something that you want to experience, put it out there and see what happens. Now, don't get attached to the outcome, okay? Simply do it to face that feeling within you. That's all this is all about, all right? And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because Uranus is the unexpected. It's that holy shit, like this is where you step into that fear and you realize there was nothing to be afraid of in the first place, right? Now, maybe it is that you really don't care what these other people think, or maybe you realize that when you get it, you really don't want it. Who knows? But the point is to step into it without expectation. When you step into things without expectation, you allow things to within yourself, okay? And this Black Moon Lilith energy is very powerful, and it can be used as, good energy when you have a solid emotional boundaries and you understand yourself at that core level, and you learn to use it for good, not evil, okay? I know that's a little bit of like a superhero reference, but, but you have to be able to look at yourself. Like say, you're going into a situation deep down in your mind. You're like, no, not a good idea. No, I can't. No. But then you do it anyways. That's the problem. But when you step back and you embrace that awkward feeling with like, okay, I just got to get this out. I'm sorry. Like, blah, 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 whatever it is that you have to say, right? That is where the true growth comes from. Those are the points where, like, if you're a yes person, you say no, or if you're a no person, you say yes, or if you never go after what you want, then finally go after what you want. Who gives a fuck what happens? It's about going through that energy, right? So you go through that energy, and you feel it, and then it's like it changes the entire trajectory of everything. Because now the shit that mattered, that was this big elephant in your head, doesn't fucking matter anymore. It goes away. And that's the healing energy of benefits of Uranus, but you don't know until you get there. All right. It's this sort of shield of fear that is around the consciousness that when you step through it, you're like, oh, it's an illusion. That's why they say, fear, false evidence appearing real. It feels real in your central nervous system. It feels real in your head. All right. But if we allow that fear to control us in our entire life, then we aren't living. We might as well be dead, right? So take that risk. This is a time to take risks in regards to your fear. Okay? Because let me tell you, when eclipse season comes around and the energy is already here, that's why there's so much purging going on. Okay? The energy is already here. We can feel it like, up to a month before or a month after the actual transit, and it's just, less than 2 weeks away. So as we go into this, all right, we're realizing, all right, like we're stepping into it. If you're not stepping into it, the eclipse season is going to put you through it in a more of a tower moment situation, right? So it's going to be like, all right, dude, well, you're not going to go through, so sorry, and it's going to rip you out, and it's going to pull you through it, and it's going to be extra traumatizing. So let's save, some energy on the trauma, and let's just go through it, okay? Let's just have that courage, hold hands with the divine, like, all right, I'm going to fucking do it. And then when you go through it, you're like, oh, all right, I did it. Next. But now be advised, okay? Be advised, because when you go through that, there's never just one layer. There's always layer after layer after layer after layer after layer. It never really ends. We just cross a threshold. And this threshold is a place where we feel it coming, we see it, we understand it, and we know what's going to feel like when we go through, but we do it anyways, out of conscious choice, okay? Instead of letting that unknown rule us, we go through the unknown. Well, at this point, it's not really unknown. But you let go of needing to figure it out, right? And yeah, exactly. The fear is never as big as we build it up in our mind, right? So just go through it. So moving on to May 29th. Yeah, that was all May 28th. Nothing too significant going on here other than Teresa, you've been agitated the few days and reactive, trying to process before I let it go, but it's not going well. Well, that is a type of control dynamic. Okay, so we all have it, and I've been getting caught up in my control dynamics too, right? Like I just want to tell everybody what they're doing wrong. That's what I have to learn to let go of. I just like, well, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Well, I'm not doing anything by telling them that. Because I am not doing everything, optimal either, right? So, and that used to get me in a lot of fucking trouble. So I just take a step back, and then when people ask questions, that is when a lot of people do that, right? That when people come and ask questions, I'm like, okay, so tell me what's going on, right? Like the other day, I was hanging out with my buddy, and he was like, he's trying to figure out like what to do with work now, right? And like he's thrown out he's just talking about doing this simple little thing with the controller, and how he loved to take it apart and put it back together, and I was really good at it, and how he's so pissed that all these parts are shitty and come from China and they're just no good, and I was like, well, you love doing that, so why don't you do something that you can take things apart and put them back together? There's a step. All right, there's step one. And he was just like, oh my God, why the fuck didn't I think of that? And it's so funny how these things can be just automatic, just right in front of my face. Yeah, that's so cool. But we don't know how to monetize it. We don't know how to create a business out of it. We don't know how to do all these things. Forget the fucking how. Do what you love, and then share what you love with people. And I guarantee people will be like, holy shit, can you do that for me? Can you do this for me? How about, can you modify it like this? Can you do it like this? And all of a sudden, boom, you start with your inner circle. And it's amazing how people, oh, yeah, well, I have someone that can design this, and I have someone that can patent that. Blah, blah, blah. And then shit, that's how I've done this. I've gotten some of the most amazing advice, just months ago from my good friends, Victor Odo and Aaron Doty. And they were just like, dude, you got it. You're there. Because I was going through a point in time where I was like, fuck, man, like I'm doing all this work. I'm coming out. I feel like I'm channeling, but I don't know, like it's not growing. I don't know what's going on. Like, help me out. And they're looking at me and they're like, well, you can do this and that, but you got it, dude. You just got to keep going. Like, just believe in yourself. It's going to happen, right? I fucking love those guys because they're so humble and they're so like honest and they're beautiful souls. So if you guys don't follow them, then you guys need to go follow them for sure. Victor Roto and Aaron Dottie for sure. All right. Also Maru Matu, Sun Soul Astrology. That woman, about a little over a year ago, you know, like I met her, and her and I were like doing each other's charts, you know, and she was like, dude, why aren't you doing this like full time? I was like, it's like a hobby. I don't know. She's like, no, dude, you need to fucking get on YouTube. Like, and she showed me the ropes, and you know, it was incredibly terrifying for me. And now I look back, I'm like, why? I don't really know, but I have to, you know, I had to go through my fear, right? And I had a fear of being exposed. I had a fear of like being out there, people seeing me as a fraud or something like that. But you know, now I'm thanks, Jessica, I appreciate that. So my point, you know, in saying all this is the universe, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So when you're ready to learn and let go and evolve, then the people will come in your life, but you have to trust. And that's what the universe is saying right now. Like, dude, you have to trust. You have to trust that you can do it, that you do have support from the universe. And once you truly, truly deep down learn to just let go and trust the process, it's amazing this shit happens, and it never makes any sense. The universe is paradoxical like that. It'll bring these people in, and then like I remember when I first met Victor, I was like, okay, what can I do, and how can we work together, and this and that, and then you know, like I just realized, like, dude, shut up. Just telling myself, shut up, stop trying to figure it out, and just enjoy the presence, enjoy the brotherhood, enjoy the friendship, right? Because when people come at you like that, because now people come at me like that, like, oh, you know, I wonder what you can do for me, and do this. Like, dude, nah, man. And now I'm sure, like, you know, like celebrities have people trying to mooch off them all the time. Oh, how can they help me out? And how can we do this? And how can we do that? Dude, who gives a fuck? People, that repels success, right? When you have a true, authentic nature and you just want to be yourself and share your love and share your wisdom and receive other people's wisdom and love in a way that's mutually beneficial, that is where relationships are born and built. And that's when people want to help you in their own unique way. And that own unique way is the way that the universe has it meant to be presented, right? So stand in that, trust, and the number one thing is this requires trust and have faith in the direction that you're going, okay? Because look, Robin, I love you, babe. Thank you too. Actually, I got quite a few of you guys here on my opportunity community, my fucking soul family right there. We're doing beautiful work. So just in case you guys are just tuning in, please go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. If you like a personal reading and to join the opportunity community. Beautiful, amazing people. I absolutely love you guys. And yeah, and we're growing and we're building and we're just making magic happen, purging, and just so many amazing, beautiful people in there. I fucking love you guys. Love you guys. So as we come in later into this week, we're going to have the moon coming in now to Virgo, and it's going to oppose. So first it's going to quincunx. First it's going to quincunx Neptune and Mars, and then it's going to oppose Neptune and Mars. So this is slightly different energy, but it's sort of like levels, right? So first it's like, I don't know what to do. What's up, Serena? Love you too, babe. It's like, I don't know what to do. And then the opposition is like, woof, right in front of your face. Like, okay, now what do I do? Now it's activating this direct feeling. Now it's like, okay, now I know what to do, but I don't want to do it. Damn it. But it will be trining over to Jupiter and Pluto. And so that's going to be really beneficial. Okay. That's going to bring some like solidarity in the motivation and the desire and the discipline to move through and move forward into all this discomfort. Because guys, let's face it. Okay. Things are going to be uncomfortable for a while. Okay. We have opened up to a whole new world. Now, with this world comes new responsibility, comes new levels of maturity and new levels of activation. Like this awakening process, it activates our DNA. So it is activating new parts of our extrasensory perception, of our emotional body, even of our physical body. Okay, we're going to get more sensitive to food, which is why you should definitely jump on the Viome and the Uforia. And if you have questions about that, you can message me on IG, or just click the link or go in the description box below on YouTube, and the links are down there. Okay, this is where it really is important to focus on your physical health and nutrition, especially with all the crazy shenanigans going on with this pandemic, and with how scared people are. That fear will reduce the efficiency of your immune system. That energy beats you down. Okay, and that's their whole intention here. That's like they want to keep people afraid so they can keep mooching off all the dysfunctional stuff going on. But look, people are calling stuff out and people are waking up. Okay, but we have to be vigilant and keeping our body and our mind as healthy as humanly possible. That's why it's so important to connect to like-minded people. Okay, we have to stay connected and we have to stay plugged in, because once we unplug, even if it's to rest for a little while, we unplug, boom, they got you, and they pull you in. You ever notice that when you want to unplug for a minute, you go on social media and you scroll, and in 3 minutes you're fucking sucked into this new story about how this person lied about this, and now this is more dangerous than this, and all these people are in this like weird like blood cult and Satanism and all this politics. Everybody's lying about everything. It's fucking crazy, and you can get sucked into it so fucking fast. It's ridiculous. So you have to stay plugged in. All right, even if you're like taking it like, all right, I'm gonna take a little rest, take a little break. Like you stay plugged into that higher frequency, guys, and create as much support as you possibly can, whatever makes you feel at home within yourself. Okay. So on the 31st, we're going to have the moon going into Libra, and it's going to be square the nodes. Yay! All right. Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate that. Utabomb.com. So the moon squaring the nodes and opposing Chiron. Dum 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 dum. So on the 31st is going to be an especially emotional day. Okay, it's going to be down the rabbit hole, down the fucking rabbit's rabbit hole, or the red hole's rabbit hole. I mean, there's like holes within the holes right now. It's like a labyrinth of holes. Of course, my mind goes dirty when I think about that. So I apologize. Sorry, not sorry. All right. So with the moon square the nodes, this brings up a T-square, and Mercury is still pretty much conjunct the North Node. Okay. We have this emotional like debacle, like what do we let go of, what do we go towards, how do we deal with this? I don't know, like what do I want to do, where do I want to go? Okay. This is where emotionally, like we want to build relationships, we want to like dive deeper maybe. Yeah, you ever notice that, like, this just popped into my head, so you always want something that you can't seem to have, right? Now, I think this is an ego-driven desire, but this is going to really bring that up into our awareness. Like, what do we want that we feel like we can't have, and why do we want it? Why do you like? What is so appealing about it? Say, I don't know, you're like scrolling through social media and you see this dude or this chick that's like, like, wow, they're hot, or wow, they're really cool, or wow, I really like the way they think. Well, that's essentially being like, attracted to an idea. Is that person, first of all, does that person look like that all the time? Probably not. They're probably photoshopped, or they probably, if they're in really insane shape, that's only going to last for a phase. The physical body only lasts so long, right? But then, what do they think? How do they feel? How do you know what's going on underneath that shit? How do you know what's going on underneath the surface? That, like, when they're not showing them, their highlight reel of themselves, they could be, like a meth addict, or they could be, you know what I mean? Like, or they could abuse their significant other. Like, you really don't know. I mean, unless, I mean, like, for example, like I on here, I show a certain part of myself, okay, to be as professional as humanly possible. I am authentic in my speech, okay, but a psychopath, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. But I don't show like when I'm going through something and I'm like tired and feeling shitty, or I don't show like all my relationship stuff. All right, I don't show a lot of who I am, because I feel like there's certain parts of yourself that should be private, right? But the people that are in my inner circle that I allow in, like, I know them and I trust them to be 100% pure and vulnerable and open. Okay, but there's certain levels of vulnerabilities, and there's certain levels of adaptability that we need to have when dealing with what our desires are, what do we want, where are we going, and how do we want it to be. And if we're looking at things that on the surface look a certain way, okay, yeah, we can have desires or dreams or even fantasies, okay, but what are you like if you want it that much, what are you lacking underneath? Because that's a reflection of what you're lacking within yourself, right? So this is where journaling comes in really well. This is actually where my 4-week transformational protocol really comes into play, because this will help you identify and see exactly what's going on. All right. So, if you want to check that out, go to my website, spiritualitybuilder.com, and click on Opportunity Community. But anyways, there's a lot of that going on right now. Okay. Where we're getting thrown in our face. Okay. What do we think we want? And what do we really want? And these desires and the ways that we look at this are becoming like more and more apparent, and more like we're like questioning it more, right? We're looking at it like, why do I keep doing this? What is it about this that keeps me so drawn to it? And that's the answers that these eclipses are going to show us, guys. Okay. So this is get started now. Okay. Because when eclipses come around, when the eclipse happens on June 5th, that's like the epicenter, or like the apex of the energy. But the energy is still powerful, very, very powerful. Okay. So it's going to bring in, especially with Venus retrograde, whatever hasn't been addressed or dealt with previously from relationships, like behavior patterns in relationships and things like that, whatever hasn't been dealt with and looked at is going to come back, maybe in a different package, different person, different place, but it's going to elicit the same emotional responses. And this is going to say like, hey, look, how are you going to respond to it different? So if you attract narcissists, all right, you're going to attract a narcissist that looks like the best fucking thing ever. Okay. But it's going to activate that feeling within you. Are you going to go into it the same way? Because if you do, or you might attract a psychopath, whatever. Okay. Whatever it is that you normally attract. Like right now, it's like you're looking at pictures and you're really attracted to it. In 2 weeks, you're going to meet someone that is going to rock your fucking world. Okay. Especially with Venus retrograde. And when he or she rocks your world, you're like, all right, are you going to give in? And that's just like this impulse, this like desire to, I want to feel that. But what are you neglecting within yourself? Okay. So if you're able at this point to go within, be like, okay, just like I feel it. It's like it's jolting me with electricity, but I got to take a step back because I respect myself and I have healthy emotional boundaries. This is where the test is, guys. Okay. So be sure. And now I'm sure that you saw this and I'm talking about it. You're going to be like, oh, fuck. I got to keep now. Don't, oh, fuck it. And then just stay away from it. Okay. Because no matter what, it's going to come. Okay. Like your vibration is attracting, Jessica, I wouldn't even call it a test. Okay. Maybe it's a test. But this experience is here to teach you. Okay. And, so and even if you're fully aware, especially with this Black Moon Lilith conjunct Uranus, that is that energy that's looking like, am I going to go down this? And look, there's really no right or wrong answers. Okay. Like you can end up getting a relationship with this narcissist. And then in the middle of it, realize like, oh, fuck. Okay. like they're a narcissist. Now we got to change this. So then you realize it and you start to shift your behavior and you change them and they end up becoming, this beautiful partner that you spend the rest of your life with. The point is that anything can happen, but it's highly dependent upon your belief system, how much you trust yourself, and where your emotional boundaries are at. Okay, do you really trust yourself, and do you have good, healthy emotional boundaries, or are you still lying to yourself and just suppressing it? If there's suppression going on, that is when you're going to be experiencing a difficult experience. Okay, I'm not going to say you're completely fucked, because you're not, because I think that these energies are really going to call it out, because these energies are so powerful. Like right now, I know for me, like if I'm around like the wrong places, people, things, whatever, then I feel like the life is sucked out of me. Okay, if I'm around the right people, places, situations, and things, I feel elated. I almost feel high, like I'm riding high on energy, right? So, like I keep saying, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. So here's fuck yes. Here's everything else. You need to take this and chuck it in the fucking bucket. Okay? Just get rid of it, because you don't need it. Everything in life should be a fuck yes. And when everything is a fuck yes, that's when abundance comes. That's when the beautiful shit comes. But you have to let go of how. You have to let go of knowing the process. Now, the navigation of the process is within. It's not outside of yourself. Okay? So, Dustin, what's up, homie? Thank you, man. I appreciate you. So, June 1st, we have, again, now, I don't know how Lilith goes retrograde and direct so freaking often, but it really does. So Lilith is now retrograde. It went to 12 degrees of Taurus. Now it's back at 8 degrees conjunct Uranus again. Okay. So what's up, Savannah? You're good, hon. No worries. It's all good. So now, like with Lilith, conjunct Uranus, now retrograde, that is going to be more internal. Now it's going to be like before it was an external desire. Like, I want to get out there and try this. Maybe you want to go bungee jumping because that'll make you feel free. Or maybe like you want to go have sex in a public place because that'll, you always want to do that. Now it's going to be internal. What do I want to feel? What is it that I'm really desiring, craving to feel that's going to make me feel all like, and this is internally, like, for women that can be, internally, but this is more like, like your physical body. Like I want to emotionally, your emotions are going to be connected to your physical body. So what do I emotionally want to feel? So at first it's outside, then it's inside. Okay. And again, you have to go into it to feel it, to experience it. And then the aha moment, the epiphany will come after. Okay. Searching for my people. Well, Jen, you have found your people right here. And we have a pretty awesome group of people in our opportunity community too. So go check that out. Hell yeah. Oh, YouTube never sent the notification, huh? YouTube's been acting squirrely. Actually, social media all over the place has been acting kind of squirrely. So I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe not. I'm still learning this whole techie kind of thing. But on June 1st, we have the sun that's approaching Venus as well. So the sun conjunct Venus is going to be, even though Venus is retrograde, it's going to be a beautiful thing, but that's also going to initiate another level and layer of realizing and coming to fruition about what we want. But the Venus will cross the sun again when it goes direct. So that's going to be where that lesson is going to come into play. So remember, whenever a planet is going retrograde and it conjuncts another planet, okay, that means that we're opening up this portal of energy that is going to teach us a lesson. Goes retrograde, and then as it comes forward, okay, we're coming into and learning that lesson. And then when it conjuncts again, if we've been doing the work, then the lesson is learned. Okay, we get the aha moment, the epiphany. And this is where really, especially with all these retrogrades going on right now, this is where it's all internal work. Okay, it's all this deep down internal, like building that confidence, building that power, and those boundaries, and all that internal, like the internal scaffolding of our consciousness, right? So yeah. Oh shit, what's up, Chabella from Chile? Hell yeah, represent. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So we have Mars at 13 degrees. It's getting there. Definitely looking forward to Mars getting into Aries. But when Mars conjuncts Neptune, that's actually going to be really powerful too. Okay. Now we do. This is right about the time. They're only 1 degree off this Venus square Mars. So this is where we're going through like a recalibration between our divine masculine and divine feminine, learning how to receive in a new way, in a deeper way, and learning how to balance that with going out there and it's sort of like learning how to be a human being and learning how to be a human doing in a balanced and productive way. Because Mars is essentially the doing and Venus is the being, right? So that's where it's all about balance. And sometimes you have to get thrown out of balance to come back into proper balance, right? So right now the universe is flinging us all over the place, all right, so that we can reestablish this new foundation, okay? I know the mainstream media keeps saying that this new normal, okay? And to a certain extent, I actually agree with that, all right? We are, because we're going into the age of Aquarius, all right? What the fuck? Okay, my sorry guys, my Instagram just turned off. It was weird, so I'm gonna go ahead and reinstitute this. And yeah, so this new normal is the age of Aquarius, right? But I don't believe in all the shenanigans that they're talking about there with what they're saying. Like all these, they're talking about the limitations. I'm talking about the expansion. Okay. For all you guys that got kicked off of Instagram, sorry, but you can definitely check it out on YouTube because I got YouTube going simultaneously. All right. So this new normal is actually, I believe, is going to be great as long as you're not following the dystopian type narrative. When I made the my Saturn and Aquarius video, which you can check out on my YouTube, I talked about like, are we going to go into a dystopia or a utopia? It's going to be one or the other. And that's the separation that's happening right now. We see where people are going into this control-based mentality where they're really believing it and they're really fucking going into it, right? And honestly, it's I hate to say this, but it's the people that we see. We see people walking around with these masks on. That it's a complete neurotic response. It's a complete neurotic and emotional response to the unknown. That's basically what it is. So Jackie, I hate the term new normal. Well, I get that, okay, but I'm talking about in like a broader sense of like the foundation of the world, okay? Like there is like when I say normal, I'm talking about a reference point to how human beings live their lives. Okay, so the way that I understand things is a little bit different than what normal people do, or of course, normal people. What's normal? All right, but the point is that basically normal is the core or the center or the foundation of our lives, right? So we are able to take this new energy and build the utopia that we desire. And if you're on here, since you guys are on here watching this kind of content, that means that you are a part of this utopian building consciousness, right? The fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, whichever study that you subscribe to. I'm sorry. That is where we're going. Now, the other side is sort of staying in the third dimension, right? It's just a matter of perspective. It's a frequency between love and fear. Okay, so when you love yourself, when you're in love with yourself, and you're coming from a place of love, you have solid boundaries. You're willing to look at your shit. You're willing to go into the unknown, and you're willing to grow. Then that is where, right, the new earth. So that is where we will stay in this place, and it'll become definite, like defined. All right, people that have our perception, we are going to start to collaborate and move into like communities. That's what Uranus and Taurus represents. Now it's interesting because like the last time Uranus was in Taurus was when Adolf Hitler and World War II was going on, right? And that whole situation was obviously they had concentration camps, right? That's how they created their communities, unfortunately. All right. This is going to be very different. However, there is a lot of similarities between that time and now. And I've even read some things where like the Nazis actually won World War II, and they've been working with the U.S. government, all this crazy stuff. I'm not really sure what to believe at this point, but I will say that astrologically speaking, there's a lot of similarities. But I believe that 2020 is a year where the light is going to overcome the dark, if you will. Okay, love is going to win this time, and it's because we are so awake and we have this ability to communicate with the entire world, and that's where we're going. But I'm telling you, it's so critically important. You're listening to this kind of content. We need to stand in our power, and the universe is pulling us in that direction. But the more we work with it, the more we go into it. This is going like we are doing the work for humanity because we're all connected. All right, remember that we are all connected. So at one level, at a very, very deep level, we all are one in the same. We all just individuate ourselves in our own different way. All right. So exactly. But we can say love wins, but what, like right now, when we're working towards creating this new earth, right? What does taking responsibility for that mean? Okay. In my opinion, we have to start being more proactive, being more, I almost want to say self-righteous, right? Now, maybe self-righteous isn't the right word, but just getting out there and making the shit happen and showing and being confident and strengthening our courage and strengthening our resolve and getting people to see the other side. Now, I don't want to say fight for it because fighting will denote, like a negative energy. Okay. You can't fight fear with fear. It doesn't work that way. And love doesn't fight. Love just is, just being like, Jesus back in the day when Jesus was around, he spoke his truth, right? Without any reservation about what would happen to him. He was selfless. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be like Jesus and go out and, heal thousands of people and speak, like on a rooftop. But I am saying that whatever your passion, whatever you feel drawn to, or whatever you feel called to, well, no, not really self-reliant, because that just means that you can take care of yourself. That should be sort of an obvious, right? I have looked at Jesus' chart before, and it was interesting. He has a very, his sun is in his 12th house. That's basically like the only psychic aspect that he has. And I've seen people with way more psychic aspects, but he was chosen. Just like we are all chosen. I believe that the reason why we are all in this place together is because we are embodying the Christ consciousness. We are all the empaths, the intuitives, the indigos, the star seeds. We are the ones that are the black sheeps, the ones that we didn't really fit into our family, right? We are the karma cord cutters. All right. All the bad shit that happened in our lives and in our families, we are the ones, our souls chose to come into this incarnation in order to face and process and dissolve all of these nasty energies, right? Jackie, I think I might do that. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate that. I'm going to do Jesus' chart. I'm going to do Bill Gates and Adolf Hitler's chart again. I did their chart twice, but it got erased from my computer. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but it happened twice. So yeah, it was kind of creepy actually. So I'm going to probably go live sometime next week and do that. Okay. We are the second coming of Christ. I do actually believe that. I believe that we are Christ consciousness, and I believe that coming from, the heart is Christ consciousness, and we need to get out there and show the world what love is. But that requires, like, every time you go out there, like, you see how fucking nasty these people are. So you have to, like, when you get triggered, you gotta, like, okay, like, you see, did you guys see that video of that poor woman in Staten Island, New York, that was getting yelled at by like 10 people? Be like, motherfucker, come up to me and say that shit. All right. But You know, I can't come out there like that. However, sometimes it requires a certain, you know, like, say something. And then once you, okay, you ain't going to do nothing. Now, let's talk about this. What's going on? And sort of that tough love, like that fatherly tough love, like, all right, hey, I love you, but I'm going to smack you around a little bit if you don't fucking smarten up. Okay? Now, let's talk. Let's learn. Okay? So that's kind of, you know, that's kind of what we need to do, guys, like in our own unique way. Some people have motherly love, some people have fatherly love, some people are more alpha, some people are more beta, whatever label you want to put on it. We all have our unique way to get out there. And that's why I love astrology, because we can see and identify exactly what our true soul purpose and power is. And that gives us the clarity and the understanding of, okay, that's how I can get out there. And I need to focus on doing this for myself and strengthening myself in this way. This is just like, this is like bodybuilding competition prep for life, for this new chapter that we're going into. Okay. Hey, what up, Cha-Cha? So going into this, you know, like we have to, like, if you think of like watching a movie like, you know, Creed or like, you know, Rocky, you know, hey, Rocco, you know, we got to go into this like, all right, like, what are we going to do? And the more ready that we are, then we go out and, you know, we test the waters. We go out to, you know, a grocery store without wearing a mask. I mean, right now, that's like the big fucking thing. Me personally, nobody really says anything to me, but people are going to say things to other people, and you have to be ready to stand your ground. Okay. And when all that feeling comes up, that ooh, you know, you have to be ready to breathe into it. And that is not easy, my friends. That is not easy at all. But that is why we were called. That's why we went through all this shit in our lives, all right? To be able to stand up and do this shit. That's why we have to, you know, wasn't there a recent transit of Saturn that hasn't occurred since the time of Jesus recently? I feel I heard that. Okay, so Heather, there's been a lot of, quite a few aspects that haven't happened since like the 1200s. But from Jesus's time, not that I'm aware of. There's 1236. That was last time Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter were all in Capricorn together. The last time that there was a Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn was 1518, I believe. So that was like the Dark Ages. And there was a few other ones as well. But I'm sure if you look hard enough, there is certain aspects that were all in certain places around that time too. Just got to look deep enough. I just haven't had enough time or energy to do that. Yeah, I went on a little bit of rant there, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I got some good ideas. I'm going to do Jesus's chart. And I may even just look to see what transits are similar to when he was alive. Okay. We'll see if I can find something on that. And I'm going to do Bill Gates and Adolf Hitler's comparison chart to see. And I've already done it twice, so I already know I'm pretty good. There's a lot of similarities in there, guys. It's actually kind of fucking creepy. But what's very fascinating, and I'll go over this one real quick, is that Bill Gates has Pluto and Jupiter conjunct in the second house in his birth chart. And right now we're going through a series of Pluto-Jupiter conjunctions. Okay, so that would explain why, you know, Pluto is all about truth, authenticity. It's about secrets coming out. So he's been very, like, it also gives you an immense amount of power in the second house. It's about the work you do, your self-confidence, your self-worth. So, you know, it's worked really well for him while he's behind the scenes. But now that he's coming out with all this scandalous shit, it's Pluto and Jupiter are throwing it back in his face. Like, no, this shit ain't vibing. Then he also has Chiron in his seventh house at 0 degrees Aquarius. We're having a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius in December. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. I have a feeling that's not going to be so good for Mr. Gates. All right. Lisa, you want to be a bodybuilder your whole life since 11 or 12. Anyways, nothing less. Never X before. Well, I could definitely connect you to quite a few people that could help you out on that journey, because, you know, I competed in 10 shows for 7 years, and I have many friends that are IFBB pros. So you want to get into that. Brian, what up, homie? So yeah, we can look into that if you want. All right. But basically, like, I approach everything that's going on right now as contest prep for life, for this new spiritual evolution that we're going into. Guys, in a couple of years, I'm telling you, especially once Saturn conjuncts Pisces at 29 degrees, I mean, once Saturn conjuncts Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, tell you, our spiritual and extrasensory gifts are going to fucking, we're not going to have to talk anymore. We're going to be able to communicate telepathically. This decade is going to change humanity in so many deeper ways that, you know, I might just have to do a video on the next decade too. Okay. Look, I'm getting all these crazy ideas. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. All right. Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please go to my website, check out the opportunity community, spiritualbodybuilder.com. And if you'd like a reading from me, you can go to my website as well. And you can still download my ebook, 25 steps to navigating the awakening process, free ebook on there. But I'll be launching my newest ebook on there as well. It's decoding the human body, how the body and the mind speak to each other, and how to identify what in your body is trying to tell you. Okay, it's very, very fascinating stuff. Right. Well, yes, Chabella, we can already communicate telepathically, but it's going to be on a much deeper and more real scale. I'm talking about like hearing people's voices in your head. Like, and some people can do it right now more than others, right? Because if you have any plants in the 12th house, you can already do that. But I'm saying everybody is going to be able to do it. Okay, it's going to become a normal thing. All right, just with extraterrestrials and all kinds of crazy shit. So much stuff. If you guys haven't watched Above Majestic or About it's the newer David Wilcox documentary. I believe it's called Above Majestic, but I know the word majestic is in there, or Beyond Majestic or something like that. It's on Amazon Prime. I would definitely highly recommend watching that. It's fascinating stuff. That dude is so on point. I love him. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys on the next report. All right? Peace out, yo.